I want to give you a little bit of a walk through on the new Glide. The Glide comes in 3 sizes: the Glide, the Slide, and the Ride. I'm not a fan of direct scaling. I don't believe it works. You can't just take a boat that you've designed and say, okay, we're going to scale this down by 5%, because someone who is, say, 5'5" instead of 6'2" and is 110 pounds versus 220 pounds is neither a direct scale in height or weight from the big guy. So it doesn't work. What I do is I take the base of the Glide, which is this boat here, and then I scale it down generally, and then I start making changes to the boat, and the width and the length and the rocker, a little bit of the way the volume is distributed. So the idea is I'm looking for the same performance out of the smaller boats as in the big boats, but it's not just scale. One of the things on the new Glide that's a bit different from the other Soul boats is we've gone to a slightly larger cockpit. It's a little bit wider, a little bit longer for bigger people. The Slide has a cockpit which is basically the same size as our current boats, and then the Ride has a cockpit which is a slalom boat cockpit, so that standard skirts will fit. First thing you'll see in this boat here is that it's neither a full slice. You can see that up here. The amount of volume that we have in the nose here means that you're not going to go around throwing flatwater cartwheels, but it's also not a half slice, which is the big volume, the high volume decks in the front, which are really made for extreme creaking. This is what I'm calling a 2/3 slice or a 3/4 slice, pick one. One of the things on this boat that you'll notice also is that the tail of this boat is very slicey. I can squirt this without a paddle, so just hands only at 180 pounds on, an average sized eddy line. But at the same time, we've made this edge over here pretty high. This edge is raised up high so that the boat is forgiving. It's a little bit more like a slalom boat in the fact that the back deck is a bit flatter. It's got a little bit of a curve to it, but it's flatter. This edge is raised up quite a lot, and that makes it more forgiving, but still super, super slicey. The nose of the boat, of course, you're not going to be slicing it anywhere. And one of the ways that we've gone about looking for a method of making this boat better and running upper class 4, easy class 5 rapids is a bit through the width of the nose. So you can see here we've carried the width quite far forward in this area of the boat, giving the nose a lot of lift when you're going over drops. And that means that we don't have to put quite as much height in the boat over here. By taking out height, we've kind of kept it slicey in the sense that if you're in a sizable hole, I don't mean like a giant hole, but just like not a little squiddly thing. If you're in a decent sized hole, it's still relatively easy to get this boat initiated, to start bow moves in a hole, and then you can link up some cartwheels. It's going to be a little bit more bouncy than a full slice, of course, but you can still do it. Blunting is still very easy with this boat to do. But then it's got all this lift from the width of the boat in the nose that helps it move over stuff. You'll also see here this kick rocker that we've got in the front. Now what we've done is we've carried the planing disc forward to here so that we have a fast hull. So when you're on a wave, back surfing, front surfing, whatever, the part of the boat that's active on the wave is relatively low rocker, in the sense that it's not, super kicked up. But then we do kick it up towards the nose of the boat, and that makes the boat run really high and dry over everything. It literally just goes boop, 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 through everything. The best way I can describe the paddling sensation of this boat, it's like paddling down a river floating on a cloud. It's amazing. It just sort of floats across everything. It's so soft and intuitive feeling. It's just an incredible feeling boat. It's really the most enjoyable paddling boat that I've ever been in. It's just such a dream to paddle. And then it does all this other cool stuff too. The sidewall of this boat is angled in a lot all the way through the boat to make it forgiving. Obviously we want to be able to go around class 4 in this thing. And so the planing hole, the surface of the planing hole, is about the same width as the Funky Monkey. But then it's an inch wider at the seam because we flared it out. So your initial stability is the same as the Funky Monkey. Your secondary stability is quite a bit higher than a Funky Monkey. But more importantly, it's forgiving. We've got this tapered sidewall all the way through here, all the way through the back, which is pretty standard now in our boats, but then also all the way through the center of the boat, with their carving edges raised up. And this boat carves. It surfs, it's fast, it's loose, it's carvy. I mean, I'm known for my loose boats, so this boat is in there. It's loose, and it is very carvy. You know, it's not 303 fast, it's 7.9, whereas the 303 is 10 feet. But it's fast. And it's comfortable, it's roomy, you got space for your feet for days. This thing is such a joy. Now this is really unusual. It's almost impossible to find a boat where everybody who paddles it loves it. Generally, you're going to have people who love the boat, and then you're going to have people, yeah, it's okay, not for me. Not so far, not with this one. Literally, and this is mind-blowing, every single person who's paddled this boat has loved it. Rave reviews. It's mind-blowing, it really is. So this is the Glide. It's 7.9. The slide is 7.3. And the ride is, I think it's just under 5 feet. It's 180 centimeters. That's my metric side coming out. And the ride is going to be available for Christmas. The Glide and the slide will be available for spring delivery. And all I can tell you is that this is, hands down, the most fun boat that I have paddled in years. It's truly amazing.